The notification dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. Like, when the nation's sweetheart returned from her hiatus, I don't think anybody expected her to break the internet by summoning the ghosts of relationships past. Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, well, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
It is so great to be here unpacking all of this with you today.
Yeah, we have an absolutely massive stack of sources to get through for this deep dive. I mean, we are looking at an August 6th Instagram update by the one and only soloist and actress IU. Her real name is Lee Jong-suk, and this single post left netizens completely in shambles.
Oh, completely. It was wild.
Right, and we're pulling from official agency statements, investigative reports from Koreaboo and Star News, and we're even digging into a fascinating 2025 academic study to uncover the intense psychology behind K-pop dating scandals.
Which is such a deep rabbit hole because on the surface, if you just scrolled past it, it really just looked like a standard life update.
Totally.
But peeling back the layers reveals this masterclass in how a single social media post can just send shockwaves through an entire global fandom.
Yeah, a seemingly innocent life update that manages to summon 3 completely different male celebrities. But before we even get to the men, I think we have to look at the atmosphere leading up to this post. Like, why were fans hanging on to her every move in the first place?
Right. The anticipation was huge.
Exactly. We're talking about an artist who can score a chart all kill in her sleep. She doesn't usually need to manufacture drama.
Yeah, the context here is super heavy. Like, IU has been on a very noticeable hiatus. She recently had to cancel this massive, highly anticipated September concert at Goyang Stadium.
Which is a huge deal for her.
It is. And on top of that, she postponed her 6th full-length album. And this wasn't just a case of, creative block or taking a vacation. It was due to serious health concerns. She's been dealing with a worsening chronic ear condition called patulous eustachian tube dysfunction.
Wait, for those of you listening who might not know what that is, imagine that feeling when your ear won't pop on an airplane, but like all the time.
Yeah, it's awful. Your ear canal basically just stays open.
Right. So you hear your own heartbeat, your own breathing, and your own voice echoing inside your head at this agonizingly loud volume. I mean, for a vocalist of her caliber, relying on precise pitch and in-ear monitors during stadium tours, that condition is basically a nightmare.
It is incredibly debilitating. So the fandom has just been holding its collective breath, hoping she's recovering. The silence was deafening. And then out of nowhere, on August 6th, she drops this massive dump of 46 recent photos.
Yeah, with a caption that just read, "Hello, long time no see, I'm living hard."
Which initially sparked pure joy. The timeline was just flooding with relief that the queen was back and looking healthy.
But you know how K-netz operate. That relief only lasted about 5 minutes before the detective ads came on. One entertainment outlet actually described this post as having devilish star power because of what was hidden in plain sight. It somehow managed to entangle 3 different men from her life.
Yeah, so let's start with the most immediate connection, the recent ex.
Right, actor Lee Jong-suk. This Instagram post was IU's very first social media activity since her high-profile breakup with him back in July.
And we are talking about a 4-year relationship that started back in December 2022. They were the ultimate it couple.
Oh, totally. So right out of the gate, any post she makes is going to be heavily scrutinized for post-breakup vibes. Like, are there tears? Is there subtle shade? Fans are just looking for a narrative.
It's the inevitable microscope of celebrity breakups, right? And it's amplified by the Hallyu wave. Every smile is analyzed for hidden sorrow. Every outfit is seen as a statement of independence.
Yeah. And speaking of analyzing every single detail, that brings us to man number 2, the current male friend. You know how K-pop fans are famous for zooming in on the reflections in spoons to see who an idol is eating dinner with?
Oh, the spoon reflections are classic.
Always. Well, buried deep in this 46 photo dump was a picture of a belated birthday cake.
And her birthday is May 16th, so posting a cake in August is definitely going to catch some eyes.
Internet sleuths immediately tracked down the specific bakery that made the cake. And it turns out the cake company had previously tagged actor Byun Woo-seok on their official SNS alongside IU.
Ah, right. Byun Woo-seok was IU's co-star from the MBC drama 21st Century Grand Duchess.
Yep, and the finale of that drama aired on May 16th, her actual birthday. So putting the pieces together, it was a sweet, belated cake from a co-star, showing a warm friendship.
A really lovely gesture. But in the hyper-vigilant world of K-pop fandoms, even a friendly cake can ignite a firestorm of dating rumors. I mean, a male co-star buying a custom cake. That's all the fuel some forums need.
It honestly felt like she designed a visual and auditory Easter egg hunt, where every single clue was a bomb meant to trigger netizens.
I think we have to pause and ask ourselves if that intentionality is real, though. Like when someone posts 46 photos spanning several months of a hiatus, statistically, fans are bound to find something to latch onto.
That's a fair point.
Right. Is it an Easter egg hunt, or is it just the fandom's hyper-analytical lens turning an innocent camera roll dump into a grand conspiracy?
Yeah, that is a very fair challenge. Maybe the cake was just a cake. And honestly, the cake wasn't even the thing that had netizens in shambles. It was the background music. And that's where this story goes from a simple update to a full-blown controversy. Stay tuned.
Yeah, the background music changes the entire dynamic. We can debate whether a photo of a cake was an intentional breadcrumb, but choosing a specific song to play over your entire post is an undeniable, deliberate choice.
So let's transition from the visual clues to the auditory clue that set the internet on fire. For the BGM, IU used a 2009 indie rock track called Living the Carefree Life, though some translate it as Nothing Special Happens or Living Without Much Trouble.
And the artist behind that 2009 track is the indie band Kiha and the Faces.
Which brings us to man number 3, the ex-boyfriend, Chang Ki-ha. And the plot thickens so much here.
It really does. We need to unpack the history because the cultural weight of this relationship is vital context. Chang Ki-ha is IU's very official ex-boyfriend from years ago.
They met on his radio show back in 2013, right?
Yes, and they publicly dated from 2015 to 2017. It was a massive landscape-shifting story at the time, largely because they overcame an 11-year age gap. In South Korean entertainment culture, a young, immensely popular female idol dating a much older indie musician was a huge departure from the norm.
But they were separated for nearly a decade. The fandom had mostly moved on. But here is the absolute kicker that makes the song choice so explosive. Chang Ki-ha recently went public, just confirmed this past June, with his brand new girlfriend.
Oh, this is the wildest part.
Actress Yoon Ga-i. They met on SNL Korea. And she is 18 years younger than him.
So just look at the board. You have IU, fresh off a very public breakup with Lee Jong-suk. You have her ex from 10 years ago, freshly public with a much younger actress.
Yeah.
And IU chooses his song, a song literally about living a carefree life, as the soundtrack to her I'm doing great, I'm living hard, comeback post.
K-netz were fiercely divided. I mean, the fandom emotion was off the charts. On one side, you had fans screaming that this was the ultimate cool, unbothered flex.
Right, claiming her power.
Exactly. She's single, she's navigating this massive health hiatus, she's living her carefree life, and she's using a genuinely great song to say it. They saw it as her reclaiming her narrative.
But the other side of the spectrum was brutal. You had people calling it highly inconsiderate. The prevailing question on the forums was, why bother?
Like, why bring him up?
Right. They felt it was disrespectful to Yoon Ga-i, Chang Ki-ha's current girlfriend, to suddenly summon his ghost into her massive, blinding spotlight. Why drag a couple enjoying their new relationship into the crosshairs of your 46-photo post-breakup update?
And when you have that much heat, when a fandom is that split, the media inevitably throws gasoline on the fire.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where the misinformation campaign started. According to a detailed investigative report from Koreaboo, multiple media outlets started publishing stories claiming that IU suffered immense backlash and secretly deleted the BGM from her post.
Ah, the classic delete of shame narrative.
Yeah.
They wanted to paint the picture that she got caught being petty, realized she made a mistake, and tried to scrub the evidence.
Exactly. And that narrative caused a massive wave of malicious comments directed at her. People were attacking her character, assuming her supposed deletion was an admission of guilt.
But that wasn't true at all.
No. Koreaboo did the actual legwork and confirmed this was a complete fabrication. The BGM was never deleted. It remained on her profile, playing proudly the entire time.
It takes a very specific, almost frightening type of emotional investment for false KT to spread that fast. People just read the headline, assume she deleted the song, and launch their attacks without even checking her actual Instagram page.
It perfectly illustrates how media outlets prey on fandom emotions to generate clicks. They know that in K-pop, controversy sells.
Always.
A headline about a female idol making a mistake and hiding it will always get more traction than a headline about her just posting some photos. The facts become secondary to the emotional reaction.
If you love staying updated on your favorites and getting the actual facts behind the rumors, make sure you hit that subscribe button to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead. Because navigating the truth in this industry is wild, and honestly, it takes a very specific type of emotional vulnerability to get that angry over a song choice in the first place.
Which brings us to the actual psychology of why a dating rumor, or even a hint of an ex-boyfriend, feels like a personal attack to a fan.
Later in the deep dive, we'll uncover a groundbreaking psychological study that explains exactly why dating scandals break the internet.
Yeah, we are pivoting from pop culture gossip directly into hard behavioral science. Because this isn't just about a song or a belated birthday cake. It's about a deeply ingrained psychological system that the entire K-pop industry is built upon.
Let's unpack that psychology, because I really want to know why a fan sitting in their bedroom cares so deeply about who an idol is texting.
To understand the mechanics of this, we're looking at a brand new 2025 academic study by Dwangi and Septerini from Universitas Erlangga. They analyzed the profound impact of K-pop dating scandals on fans, specifically dissecting a concept called parasocial relationships.
Which is a term that gets thrown around a lot lately.
It does. And the most fascinating part of their methodology is that they directly compared the reactions of domestic South Korean fans with international Indonesian fans.
Okay, let me make sure we define this clearly for you listening. A parasocial relationship is essentially a one-sided psychological bond. You, the fan, feel a deep, intimate, and very real emotional connection to a celebrity. But that celebrity doesn't actually know you exist.
Right. The term was originally coined back in 1956 by Horton and Wall to describe how television viewers felt about news anchors or soap opera characters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the modern K-pop industry has taken the parasocial relationship and weaponized it as a core business model.
Because agencies strictly enforce no dating clauses in idol contracts, right?
Yeah.
Particularly in the rookie years. They're basically selling the illusion of exclusivity. They are monetizing romantic availability.
Look at the technology fueling this. Apps like Bubble or Weavers. Fans pay a monthly subscription to receive messages that are explicitly designed to feel like private, intimate text messages from their idols.
You get a notification right before bed that says, "I missed you today. Did you eat well?"
Exactly. It creates a highly intense, deeply emotional investment that feels entirely mutual to the brain.
It's like, imagine being a K-pop stan is like investing your entire life savings into a tech startup.
Yeah.
You bought the physical albums, which is your seed funding. You streamed the music videos for 24 hours straight, which is your marketing labor. You went to the concerts. You funded the entire operation. And in return, your dividend is this illusion of availability.
I absolutely love that analogy because when the CEO of that startup, the idol, suddenly starts dating, the investors feel like funds were embezzled.
Yes.
The study defines this exact moment as a parasocial breakup. It is an involuntary, psychologically impactful termination of that perceived relationship. The illusion shatters, and the emotional fallout is very real.
So when that parasocial breakup happens, how do the fans actually react? Because you mentioned the study compared Korean fans to Indonesian fans, and I'm guessing the reactions weren't identical.
Far from it. The cultural differences are staggering. When looking at domestic South Korean fans, the researchers found they often react initially with intense negative emotions. Anger, a deep sense of betrayal, and sadness.
Because they view it as a breach of that startup contract.
Precisely. In the domestic market, the culture often views idols almost as service providers. The fan loyalty, the obsessive streaming, the bulk buying of albums to get into fan signs is seen as a direct transaction for the idol's total dedication to the fandom.
Right.
If the idol dates, they are failing to provide the service they were essentially hired for.
But the Indonesian fans, representing the broader international Hallyu wave audience, had a completely different take, didn't they?
They did. The study found that Indonesian fans tend to exhibit what researchers call endorsement. They actively support the relationship. The reactions are characterized by positive emotions, happiness, and empathy.
Well, that's a huge shift.
Yeah, they view the idols not as service providers, but as normal human beings who inherently deserve personal lives.
That is a massive cultural divide. One side feels betrayed by a broken promise, and the other side is essentially saying, good for them, they're human. But I'm trying to figure out the domestic side. Even the angry fans eventually calm down and go back to supporting their bias. Do they just get tired of being mad, or is there some kind of mental gymnastics happening to justify staying in the fandom?
Oh, it is absolute mental gymnastics, and the researchers identified exactly how it works. It comes down to a psychological concept called the fundamental attribution error.
Okay, what is that?
When an angry fan eventually reaches a state of acceptance, they do it by blaming the situation rather than the idol.
Oh, like
Yeah.
when someone cuts me off in traffic, I immediately assume they're a terrible, selfish person. But
Uh,
if I cut someone off, I tell myself it's just because I'm running late for a very important meeting and I had no choice. I blame the situation.
Spot on. So apply that to K-pop fans. Instead of saying, my bias betrayed me, they shift the blame externally. They say, the agency forced them into this PR stunt, or Dispatch is maliciously targeting them to ruin their career, or the other person in the relationship manipulated them.
That is wild. They attribute the scandal to external factors so they don't have to
Yeah.
break their emotional bond with the idol. It protects the investment.
Exactly. It allows them to keep streaming and buying albums while navigating the massive cognitive dissonance of the dating scandal. But while your startup analogy earlier captures the financial and transactional side perfectly, the study brings up a much darker reality.
Yeah.
We aren't talking about corporations. We're talking about young, vulnerable human beings.
The pressure to maintain that illusion of constant availability must be suffocating. Like if a single Instagram post with a 15-year-old song can cause this much chaos, I can't imagine living under that microscope 24/7.
The study highlights how these extreme parasocial relationships can lead to devastating real-world consequences. When idols inevitably fail to live up to the impossible illusion of perpetual availability, they are subjected to coordinated, intense cyberbullying.
It's heartbreaking.
It is. The researchers specifically cite historical tragedies in the industry, like the heartbreaking loss of Sully. She faced severe, relentless bullying simply for being outspoken, challenging the rigid idol image, and trying to live her life authentically, which included having public romantic relationships.
It's a tragic reminder that behind the massive YouTube view counts, the perfectly curated Weverse messages and the shiny comeback concepts. These are real people absorbing all that pressure. The illusion of the parasocial relationship is highly profitable for the agencies, but it is deeply dangerous for the artists.
And that's exactly why IU's choice of background music sparked such a massive firestorm. It bumped right up against the invisible rules of the K-pop parasocial contract.
To keep unpacking the deep psychology and culture behind the Hallyu wave with us, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a deep dive. Because this industry is constantly shifting, and the rules we just talked about are being tested every single day.
And if we connect all of this research back to the bigger picture, it raises an existential question about the future of K-pop as a global phenomenon.
Right, think about the sheer numbers. The Hallyu wave has now reached over 200 million fans globally. And as this 2025 study clearly shows, international fans react with far more endorsement to dating news than domestic fans do. They see idols as humans.
Which puts the traditional entertainment agencies in a fascinating, potentially panic-inducing bind.
Yeah, because the core domestic audience still demands the transactional illusion, while the massive global audience finds that illusion toxic. Will the traditional K-pop no-dating clause business model eventually collapse under its own weight? Like, as the audience goes truly global, will these massive agencies be forced to abandon the illusion of romantic availability entirely just to survive on the world stage? Will they finally let idols just be people who date, break up, and post indie rock songs on Instagram without it becoming a scandal? It's definitely something for you to mull over the next time your bias drops a surprising life update.
It is the ultimate collision of high-stakes business, behavioral psychology, and pop culture.
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.